You've been taught to think that your mind lives inside your brain, that it's a biological process limited to the folds of your skull, analyzing the world like a computer processing data. But that idea is not just incomplete, it's an illusion. Your mind isn't local. It doesn't live within the walls of your body. It isn't bound by space, time, or physical form. Your mind is energy, a field, seamlessly connected to the vast quantum fabric that threads through everything in existence. Even as you listen now, your awareness stretches far beyond your skin, beyond the room you sit in, beyond even the concept of here. It reaches into the quantum field itself, a field that modern physics now understands to be the foundation of all matter and possibility. This isn't poetic imagination. It's the quiet truth revealed by decades of quantum research. In quantum entanglement experiments, scientists have witnessed particles influencing one another instantly, across any distance, without any visible connection. What affects one affects the other, not through proximity but through their shared field. Your consciousness functions in a similar way. It doesn't sit passively inside your brain. It participates in the very field that creates reality. Think about what that truly means. It means that the world you experience isn't simply out there, independent of you. Your mind isn't watching reality. It's helping to shape it. Reality, as you perceive it, isn't a fixed, objective landscape. It's a dynamic simulation, an ever-changing expression of how your consciousness interacts with infinite potential. Neuroscience echoes this truth. Your brain isn't a camera recording reality. It's an artist interpreting it. It builds a version of the world using memory, emotion, and expectation. A living model that feels real because your nervous system believes it is. So when you look around, you're not seeing what is. You're seeing what your mind predicts will be, based on the stories and programs running deep beneath awareness. And yet most people never realize this. They move through life believing their experience is objective, that they are simply reacting to what the world gives them. But the reality they think they're responding to is largely a reflection of their own projections. Their subconscious beliefs shape their perception, and their perception shapes their world. This is why your mind is not only non-local, it's creative. You are not merely observing circumstances, you are co-creating them. Every thought, every emotion, every belief sends ripples into the quantum field, influencing which possibilities collapse into the experience you call your life. Your mind isn't trapped inside your body, it's part of the very field that gives birth to reality. Through your focus, your faith, and your attention, you are weaving the threads of your experience. The implications of this are immense. It means your influence extends far beyond what you can see or touch. You are already affecting events, people, and outcomes across time and space, because consciousness is not limited by either. It also means you exist across multiple realities simultaneously, each one a potential version of you waiting to be chosen. The version of you who thrives, who feels deeply fulfilled, who loves freely, who awakens spiritually. That version already exists as an energetic possibility in the quantum field. It's not a fantasy, it's a frequency. And when your internal state aligns with it, that version becomes your lived reality. But here's the catch. Most people never tune into that frequency. They live in repetition. They think the same thoughts, feel the same emotions, and recreate the same experiences day after day. Not because that's all that exists, but because that's all they know how to access. This is the loop. The mind believes it's reacting to reality, but in truth it's reacting to its own unconscious projections of reality. It keeps reinforcing the same story, the same energy, the same limits. But what if you could break the loop? What if you could step out of unconscious reaction and begin creating reality intentionally? What if you stopped seeing your mind as a passive receiver and began recognizing it as an active transmitter, a force shaping the world itself? That's what this journey is about. Because once you understand that your mind is not local, that it is not confined by matter, you begin to use it in ways that defy logic. You begin to participate in what quantum physics calls collapses of potential. You create quantum events, deliberate shifts in the field that draw experiences, people, and outcomes into your life with precision that feels miraculous. But before we can do that, you must first grasp one truth. Your mind does not live inside your body. It is not chained to your past. It is not at the mercy of your circumstances. It is a vast, living field, endlessly creative, constantly interacting, and right now in this very moment shaping the reality around you. So the question is not whether your mind can shape reality. The question is, how will you choose to use it? Most people move through life believing that reality happens to them, that the events, relationships, and challenges of their existence are part of a world entirely outside their control. But what if reality isn't something external at all? What if it's a reflection, a mirror responding to the energy you emit in every moment? The truth, though uncomfortable for many, is that reality is not an independent force. It is responsive, a living feedback loop that echoes the vibration of your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. Even now, your mind is shaping reality in real time. Each thought you think sends a frequency into the quantum field. Each emotion you feel imprints a signature into the invisible fabric of possibility. Together, they form an energetic blueprint, a pattern that determines which potential becomes your experienced world. Your conscious mind, the part of you that plans, reasons, and decides, represents only a small portion of your awareness. It's the tip of the iceberg, guiding perhaps 5% of your actions. The other 95% is driven by the subconscious, the hidden architecture of belief that runs quietly beneath awareness. It's this subconscious mind that decides how you perceive, how you react, and what patterns you unconsciously recreate. And it does not operate according to your words or wishes. It follows your programming. So when you declare, "I want to change," but continue to think and feel as you always have, nothing changes. Not because you are unworthy of transformation, but because your internal signal hasn't shifted. The quantum field doesn't give you what you ask for. It mirrors who you are being. This is why people often feel trapped in cycles that seem to repeat endlessly. They find themselves in the same kinds of relationships, facing the same obstacles, feeling the same emotional pain in different forms. They call it bad luck, fate, or divine testing. But in truth, it's the subconscious mind recreating familiar frequencies. Your brain, fascinatingly, does not distinguish between what happens in your outer world and what you vividly imagine within. To your nervous system, a deeply felt emotion or belief is just as real as a physical event. So your body reacts to your internal reality as if it were external, flooding you with the same hormones, the same sensations, the same responses. And through that physiological state, you emit an energetic signal, one that tells the field, "This is my reality." If you often feel anxious, powerless, or unworthy, your body begins to live in a constant state of stress. That stress becomes your baseline frequency. From that vibration, you unconsciously attract situations that reflect it back, not as punishment but as feedback. Every repeated pattern is an opportunity for awareness. Every challenge is an invitation to see what you're broadcasting into the field, because whether you realize it or not, your mind is always creating. Every moment, you are collapsing infinite potential into specific experience. You are living in what could be called a personal universe, a uniquely designed reflection of your internal state. But this isn't about blame. It's not about fault or guilt. You didn't consciously choose many of the programs you inherited. They were passed to you through family, culture, trauma, repetition. You didn't choose them, but you can become conscious of them. And that awareness is where liberation begins. Reality isn't fixed. It's fluid. It bends and rearranges itself in response to your energetic alignment. The quantum field doesn't listen to your affirmations. It listens to your coherence. It responds not to the words you repeat, but to the harmony between your thoughts, emotions, and actions. You could say to yourself every day, "I am abundant." But if deep down you still feel fear, scarcity, or doubt, your frequency remains unchanged. Your words may reach your conscious mind, but your vibration tells a different story, and the field responds to that story. Always. This is why so many people feel frustrated when manifestation seems not to work. They visualize, they hope, they repeat affirmations, yet their subconscious remains anchored in old emotion. They are trying to create a new life while still living in the energy of the old one. But once you understand this, truly understand it, everything changes. You begin to see that life is not a rigid series of events, but a dialogue between your inner state and the quantum field. Reality is not something happening to you, It's something responding through you. Your dominant emotion, your habitual mood, your ongoing state of being, these are not private experiences. They are active forces, shaping the reality that unfolds before you. Your beliefs about who you are and what's possible are not abstract ideas. They are energetic blueprints carving the structure of your life, and this is the turning point. The shift from unconscious creation to conscious participation. From being someone who reacts to reality to someone who realizes that reality is constantly reacting to them. Even in this very moment, you have the power to interrupt the old pattern, to pause, breathe, and choose a different frequency. A thought of gratitude instead of fear, a moment of trust instead of doubt. And with that shift, a new timeline begins to take shape. This is where the concept of quantum events enters. Moments when your energy changes so clearly, so coherently, that the field responds instantly, collapsing new possibilities into being. In the next part, we'll explore what these quantum events truly are, how they unfold, why they seem like miracles, and how you can learn to create them consciously. Because once you understand that every thought and emotion is an invitation to the universe, you'll realize that life is not random. It's a conversation, and it's waiting for you to speak through your vibration. There are moments in life that defy logic, a chance encounter that changes everything, a phone call that arrives at the exact moment you were thinking of someone, an opportunity that appears just as you finally decide you're ready. We call them coincidences, luck, or divine timing. But beneath those names lies a deeper truth. These are quantum events. A quantum event is not random. It's what happens when your inner frequency aligns so precisely with a possibility in the field that it collapses into physical reality. It's the universe saying, "You're in resonance, now watch." Think of the quantum field as a sea of infinite potential. Every outcome, every version of you, every possible timeline, all coexisting as waves of energy. Nothing is fixed until observation and emotion give it form. And your consciousness, your attention, is that observer. The moment your focus, emotion, and belief reach coherence, the wave collapses into form. That's a quantum event. To the mind, it looks like a miracle. To the field, it's just physics. But this alignment doesn't come from forcing or chasing. It comes from presence. From a state of being so harmonized, so surrendered, that you no longer resist the reality you desire. You've become it. You see, the universe doesn't respond to words. It responds to frequency. You can't want something into existence because wanting implies lack. You must become the vibration of what you seek. When your mind, heart, and body are synchronized in belief, emotion, and energy, you don't attract the outcome, you merge with it. That's when synchronicities begin to multiply. That's when paths open effortlessly, and reality seems to rearrange itself to meet you halfway. It's not magic, it's coherence. But coherence cannot be faked. You can't trick the field. You can't say you're at peace while holding tension in your heart. You can't claim abundance while vibrating in fear. The field feels your truth, not your words. And it always responds truthfully. So when you shift internally, deeply, authentically, the external world must follow. It has no choice. The quantum field is law. It doesn't operate on morality or worthiness, only on resonance. You don't receive what you deserve. You receive what you're a match to. That realization can feel both empowering and humbling, because it means that you are never a victim of chance. You are always participating in creation, whether consciously or not. When you begin to live in awareness of this, truly aware that your thoughts and emotions are frequencies sculpting your reality, you stop chasing outcomes. Instead, you cultivate alignment. You become still. You focus on your inner atmosphere, because you know that when your inner world changes, the outer must reflect it. This is the art of conscious creation. It begins not with effort, but with attunement. Not with striving, but with surrender. When you release resistance, when you let go of fear, attachment, and control, the field becomes fluid again. It moves with you. It orchestrates experiences that match your state of being. That's why miracles seem to happen when you stop trying to control everything. Because in that moment, you've entered coherence. You're no longer vibrating against the current of what you desire. You're flowing with it, and then life begins to whisper. In small ways at first, like a phrase in a book, a song lyric, a stranger's words that feel like they were meant for you. Signs, alignments, echoes of what you've been feeling inside. Each one is a signal from the field. Stay here. You're in resonance. This is what mystics have always known, that creation is not about force but about allowing. That manifestation is not a technique but a remembrance, a remembering that you and the universe are not separate. You are not a fragment reaching toward the divine. You are the divine, expressing itself through form. The moment you truly understand this, you stop asking, when will it happen? And begin realizing it's already unfolding. Every coincidence becomes sacred. Every moment becomes intentional. Because you're no longer waiting for proof. You are living as the proof. This is the path of the conscious creator, the one who knows that the universe is not something to command, but something to collaborate with. The one who lives in gratitude before the manifestation, and therefore lives within it. And the deeper you go, the more you realize there was never separation between you and the field. There was only awareness remembering itself. So now the question arises, how do you become coherent? How do you tune your body, mind, and heart into harmony with the frequency of the life you wish to live? It begins not with effort, but with awareness. Not by adding more thoughts, but by softening them, by becoming the quiet observer behind them. Close your eyes for a moment and bring your attention to your breath. Feel it move through you. An invisible bridge between body and energy, between what is seen and what is unseen. With each inhale, you're drawing life in. With each exhale, you're releasing resistance. This is where transformation begins, not in thought but in presence, because coherence is not something you do. It's something you allow. It's the natural state of the mind when it stops struggling to control everything. The mind tries to shape reality through will. The heart shapes it through resonance. When the two unite, thought and emotion, logic and trust, a new level of creation awakens. This unity is what ancient mystics called alignment, and what modern physics describes as coherence, the moment when every part of you vibrates in harmony with the same intention. In that state, your brain waves slow, your heart rhythm stabilizes, your energy field expands, and the quantum field begins to respond. You start noticing small synchronicities, subtle confirmations that you've entered flow, a message at the right time, a door that opens effortlessly, a calm that settles inside you, even when nothing external has changed. That calm is not weakness, it's power, the purest form of creation, because the universe does not respond to impatience or fear. It responds to coherence, to the energy of someone who already knows they are one with what they desire. You don't need to convince the field. You need to remember that you are it. So each day come back to stillness, not as a ritual of control, but as a return to remembrance. When doubt arises, breathe. When fear surfaces, and breathe. When your mind races to fix or predict, breathe. Every breath brings you back to the truth that creation is not somewhere out there, it's unfolding through you. The more you practice this awareness, the more natural it becomes. Your body learns peace, your nervous system learns safety, and your energy begins to stabilize at a higher frequency, one that magnetically draws experiences of harmony, love, and expansion. Eventually, the outer world begins to reflect that inner peace back to you. You'll notice that people respond differently. Opportunities arise more easily. What once felt like struggle now feels like rhythm. This is coherence made visible. It's what happens when the infinite field recognizes itself through you. And from that place, you no longer seek miracles. You live inside them, because miracles are not supernatural events. They are natural consequences of alignment. They are the universe's way of saying, you remembered who you are. So walk gently, but walk consciously. Let your presence be your practice. Let your emotions become your compass. Let your awareness be your anchor to the now. Every thought you choose, every feeling you allow, every breath you take is shaping the next frame of your reality. You are not small. You are not separate. You are the consciousness that dreams the universe into being. And when you move in coherence with that truth, you don't need to force creation. You become it. When the mind grows still, the soul begins to remember.